What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a match from one of the most recent RMC locals. It's going to be between myself on the left playing LordKnightmon, and on the right we're going to be having the Eyesmon Rush. Now before we get on into it, I do want to just say that I am sorry for the lack of uploads over the past 2 weeks or so. With the BT7 burnout hitting a lot of players because of all the blue hybrid, it has been a lot harder to get a lot of matches, and I didn't really want to just keep uploading multiple blue hybrid testing games, so it has been a little bit slower on content. But with BT8 coming up shortly, we are definitely going to be having more content. But let's go ahead and get on into this match. I did win the die roll, so I'm going to go ahead and start us off here with a Patamon, play down a Pulsemon here to get a draw. I do want to try and get a little bit early aggression if possible, because the Eyesmon's deck can go super wide and super aggressive. I also have a deck that can go pretty wide, but it is definitely going to be a potential race here, so being able to play out some rookies early to potentially swing in is going to be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and play out a second Pulsemon. Not too worried here if they Deathclaw me, because it's not really going to do too much if they kill a Pulsemon, so going to be nice to have a second one out here, get that cycle going, and then I can potentially go in for swings later. I do have to be wary of swinging into Tamers and stuff like that in security, so Werewolf mode, come out, pop the Cerberusmon, get the draw and discard, then able to swing in for 9k with Rush, swinging over the Knightmon, which is nice. 9k is not the easiest one for me to get over with my deck. I do have the Megas that I can swing into in security and go down, but there's not that many Megas, so a good chance 9k is going to survive. Now they're going to go up into the Nidhogg, put me at 1 with the Eyesmon scatter mode, and I'm just going to retaliate with the LordKnightmon. I do need to build up into LordKnightmon. I do think I should have swung with the Pulsemon right there, playing a little bit too passively, because if we can see the board right now, they're going to put me down to 1 security, and I haven't done any damage yet. I do have a Knightmon in the back that I can come out and be able to swing over, be able to drop things like Knightmon, and be able to give the minus 4k and the minus 1k with the Pikmon, which can get rid of some Eyesmon, so we'll have to see how that goes here. But as of right now, I am starting to fall very far behind. I should have started to get those early chip checks with the Pulsemons, but little too gone for that. So now we're just going to see what my opponent wants to go into here. They did pop their first Jack raid to go up to 3, which allowed them to go into the Cerberusmon. Now they're going to be able to play Dead or Alive for 8, be able to play out the Werewolf mode. Werewolf mode will be able to pop the Cerberusmon, gain 9, so a +1 memory gain there, while also being able to get the draw and discard effects. Luckily for me, there are no analogs on the field, or else there would have been a lot more value coming out. But as of right now, there are 4 Digimon on the board. I have no security. I haven't done any security checks yet, and all I have for it is built up a LordKnightmon in the back. I really need something like a memory tamer a lot earlier in this game, so I was able to progress a lot more, but kept putting me to 1 or 2, did not give me the memory that I needed here. So they're going to play out another scatter mode here. I'm going to have to see if there's anything that I can do here to clear off the board. I'm going to at least attempt. I can swing over the Nidhogg. Going to go ahead and drop the Knightmon here to give minus 4k to the Eyesmon's, Pikmon an extra minus 1k to pop it, gain a memory off the Patamon right here, go up into the 8mon to cycle a little bit to see if I can hit a blocker, but I don't, so I just Blinding Ray up to 4, play the Starmons to give minus 4 to the Werewolf mode. It says that 2, but I'm at 1 memory right there, but I'm just going to go ahead and swing over, and then I'm just going to play another Starmons to pop the other Eyesmons, but it doesn't matter because I still have the scatter mode on the board and I have no security, so they're just going to go ahead and swing in and take the first game. I'm going to be having them go first, of course, so they'll start off with a Gabumon into an analog, and I'm just going to go ahead and go up into a Starmons and then a yellow memory boost right here. Going to be able to search out, grab the Angelmon out of my deck. I definitely need that to start building up, and having the yellow memory boost is going to be nice. I didn't really have a way to gain memory outside of the Patamon inheritable last game, so now having the yellow memory boost will extend my plays just a little bit here. But my opponent puts me to 1 with the promote, so I'm going to return the favor, put them back to 1 with my 8mon here, and then I can potentially build up into Angelmon next turn if I want to, or play the TK that's in my hand, once again making it so that I have some sort of memory gain, which I lacked the first game. But it's gonna have to see what my opponent wants to do here. They're gonna go ahead and get the draw 1, discard 1 with the Gabu when attacking effect, and then just play a Mimi to put me back at 1. So we're just gonna be playing this game where we keep choking each other a little bit, and I decided to go up into the Angelmon over the TK there. That way I can build up next turn. If my opponent puts me at even 1, I can pop the yellow memory boost to go into a Mega, so have to consider that. But now my opponent's gonna go ahead and just swing in once again, getting the Gabumon, draw 1, discard 1. This time it is gonna go down to the LordKnightmon, so they'll get the Demimera, draw 1, discard 1, but at least that's off the board right now and I don't have to worry about it too much. Gonna be able to get up into my LordKnightmon without too much struggle this time. Last time I didn't get up to my LordKnightmon until I was at just 1 or 0 security, so now being able to get up into it early without my opponent having a super wide board is gonna give me a chance. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop up to 3 right here, so that way I can go up into LordKnightmon, go to 0, swing, gonna be able to get the effect of both the Knightmon and the Angelmon, so I'm gonna be able to play out the Pulsemon to gain a memory. Does go down to the Deathclaw right away, but no big deal. Was still able to get to the draw and the memory gain right there, which is gonna allow me to play the TK and put my opponent at just 3. And I'm gonna grab out the Kazuchi. That's gonna be a good tool later. Being able to drop the Knightmons out as a level 5 for free is gonna be super huge, because then I can go into that Kazuchi. My opponent goes in for a bunch of huge checks early on. I can recover up to 3. So now I have memory gain, I have my Tamer, and I have my LordKnightmon out on the board with a little bit of board gain. And if my opponent goes super crazy with the swings, I will have the Kazuchi to go into. But my opponent also now knows that I have it, so they can play around it to a degree. They are going to have to go for swings, but with the Kazuchi on the board, they are going to have to at least go for game probably in 1 turn, or else I'll just be able to recover up to 3 for decently little resources, just because the Knightmon comes out for free, and not too worried about the Digivolve for 5 into the Kazuchi. But now my opponent's going to start popping off. They were able to play the Jack Raid and the Mimi Tap to get up to 3 to go up into the Cerberus. Now they can play the Werewolf mode. Werewolf mode is going to make it so that they can tap both the analog to gain 2 memory, and then with the on deletion effects, they can pitch 2 Nidhogg's to go up to 4 memory right there, so that gives them a lot of room to work with. Plus they were able to hatch an egg, which means they can put a rookie in there and promote that next turn and threaten even more pressure. So we'll have to see if they want to go ahead and swing with the Werewolf mode right here. It does have Rush. They decide to commit the Eyesmon Scatter mode first before they do anything, and then actually just play the Mats. So they're not going to swing in, but they do get to progress. But now I'm at 4 memory, which is going to give me a pretty decent amount of options. So I'm going to start off with the Patamon in Raising, a very good inheritable to have with all the minus DP effects that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and swing. LordKnightmon effect is going to give -4, and then the Angelmon effect is going to allow me to play the Pulsemon to gain a memory and draw a card once again. Now I'm going to be able to play the Starmons to give -5, plus the -4 I gave with the Knightmon is enough to get rid of the Cerberusmon, and then I can put a Unimon on top of the Starmon, so that way I have a little bit of defense. Don't want my opponent going in too crazy. That was another aspect that I did miss that first game, was seeing any of my blockers, which are nice to be able to stop the aggression. Obviously blocking Scatter mode isn't going to be the best because of the on deletion, but at least we're going to be able to have a little bit of defense for other things that come in, and make it so that way with my board being so wide while also having the threat of LordKnightmon and that Unimon on the board, I am looking decently safe. Now, this is probably going to be a semi-difficult turn for my opponent just because there's so much on the board, including a blocker, and they don't really have a lot to go in. They swing in with the Scatter mode. I'm going to let it go through just in case it does survive. I'm not too worried about using the blocker ability right there because they still have the Gabumon, which I can block, and also blocking right there just guarantees that they get the draw 3, discard 2. We saw them swing into the Patamon, so luckily enough they do live, which means that they're going to have to use external sources to get rid of this Eyesmon, such as Deathclaw or something like Calling to the Darkness, but that is going to cost them a memory to use unless they want to tap the Mimi, which is fine with me because if they tap the Mimi, then I don't have to worry about it going into my turn, and my Blinding Rays are going to be a little bit stronger, but they're going to go ahead and swing in. I am going to go ahead and block. It doesn't look like there's any scatter modes in the trash, so they're just going to be sitting at the 5k right there, which I can go ahead and block. Survive very nicely and don't have to worry about that right there. If they were at 7k and I blocked, I would have just went down. So we see a Deathclaw come out. I'm going to have to assume that they just drew into it with those effects, or else Deathclawing the scatter mode first to pop the blocker probably would have been better, because not only then would you have the scatter mode in your trash to buff up your Eyesmons, but you'd also be able to play these Eyesmons out for free. But they didn't have it, I'm assuming, so they're just going to go ahead and play it out here. Now they're going to be able to get out the 2 Eyesmons, counting trash to see what Jack Raid is going to do. Going to be able to Jack Raid up to 3 here, no tapping the Mimi, but we are going to go into Loimon over the Mat, which is interesting because that is their memory tamer, so getting rid of that over the Mimi is probably a lot more detrimental, just because as LordKnightmon, the only options that I'm playing are going to be the Blinding Ray and the yellow memory boost, so I don't have too many options as to where the Mat does put them at potentially 1 each turn if I do just choke them, so we'll see what they got going on. They do end up just swinging the Loimon here. It does go down, so that's 1 less threat on the board, and the memory tamer gone, so I'm not 100% sure if that was correct, but now they're going to be able to play out the Lucamon to recover. I'm going to drop down my own Lucamon to recover off of the Angelmon effect, plus the Starmons is coming out, so now my board is really wide. I did hit the Jack Raid, but I think I just kind of have to go in for game. If I hit another Jack Raid, then I'm definitely screwed, but as of right now, it's looking okay. Going to swing in with the Patamon right there, hit the Cerberusmon, and then the Unimon can go in for game right there, able to tie it up, and so that was a really close game. Game 1 was a lot more one-sided for the purple, but I was able to bring it back there and tie it up 1-1 going into game 3. And going into game 3, of course, they're going to have me going first, so I'm just going to go ahead and go up into an 8mon, go with the Angelmon to give security attack -2 to the Cerberusmon right there, so that they can't at least swing in and then go for the Werewolf mode. So they're just going to go and start off with the Werewolf mode right away. One thing to note is I'm already up to LordKnightmon on the board, and they don't have much going on, no swings going in, so this is a much better board state than the other two. Last game, I did have a decent board state, but now with LordKnightmon out this early finally, with the Angelmon underneath, we are looking pretty good. Not going to be able to get the Angelmon effect just yet, but the LordKnightmon effect is going to be just enough. Can play the Starmons. That's not really going to do too much for me, but I can get a rookie on the board to devolve up into. Hit the Jack Raid, which is definitely unfortunate because I wanted to play down the TK, and now if I do it, I'm going to put my opponent at 4 opposed to 2, but still going to commit it. Don't want to get choked, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a Knightmon out of there. Really good card to have in hand with the LordKnightmon on board, and sitting at 12k with LordKnightmon means that they're really not going to be able to get over it, and they actually just decide to play out another Cerberusmon hard play. Didn't even swing in with the Werewolf mode because I would just swing over it with the LordKnightmon, but now with another Cerberusmon hard played, I do have a pretty good amount of memory to work with here. I put them to 4, but they are just going to put me back to the 3, so that 4 memory didn't really change too much, but now going to be able to swing, going to be able to drop the Knightmon to give -4, Pikmon -1, and then Starmons to pop it. Now there's the Cerberusmon on the board. I didn't want to pop the Cerberusmon in case they played Eyesmons out. They could go ahead and discard the scatter mode, and then next turn be able to discard the regular Eyesmons to bring it out, and I didn't want to accelerate that too much. I wanted to make them do it themselves, which they did with the Werewolf mode, and then they're going to go ahead and play out an Analog, but as of right now, I just have way too much aggression. I'm going to swing in, hit another Jack Raid, but it doesn't matter, and able to take that on like turn 3 or 4, so those were completely different games than the first two, where my opponent going in with the double Cerberusmon play does show that sometimes when you mulligan, it doesn't work out for the best, and sometimes it does bite you in the butt. But that was this set for today. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're looking for more BT7 content, I will have some, but I'm going to be focusing on BT8 a little bit more, so if you want BT8 content, be sure to like and subscribe because I'll be bringing that soon, and also follow me on Twitch because I'm going to be streaming a bunch of BT8 content over there. But with that being said, I will catch you all next time. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.